Hey, Mike with CoachMikeMcDonald.com here. In today's video, I'll be sharing 9 short videos on essential growth marketing strategies to grow your business faster. So let's get into it. So here's the thing. Most businesses are overpaying for customers and they don't even realize it. But the good news is that there's a fix. The real goal of your content isn't just posting more, it's building a system that lowers your cost of acquisition over time. And it really comes down to 3 key things. First, you need to build credibility. If people don't trust you, nothing else matters. Second, you need to capture demand. This means that you show up when people are ready and already searching for a solution that you offer. Third, you need to convert attention into action. This turns viewers into leads and leads into customers. And when you do this right, everything changes. You reduce volatility, you create compound returns, and your cost to acquire customers drops dramatically over time because the main difference is that when you run ads, the second you stop paying, you stop gaining that traction. But when you build authority, that keeps your content working for you 24/7. So again, this means things like SEO, videos, and authority-based content where this can generate leads for months and even years on autopilot. And instead of pushing your brand onto people, you start attracting them to you, and that's really how you scale smarter, not just harder. Here's the thing, if you're not building authority, you're paying way too much for customers. And here's how smart brands fix that with a simple 3-part system. First, you need to focus on SEO, AEO, and GEO content. This is really your foundation where you'll be creating content that matches what people are already searching for. So leads end up coming to you without you having to pay per click. Second is long form video. And this is where trust is really built. It gives you the opportunity to showcase your real expertise. You can answer real questions and basically pre-sell people before you even talk to them. Third, you want to focus on short form content repurposing. And this is where things really scale. One video can turn into dozens of pieces of content across every platform, keeping you everywhere without having to constantly start from scratch. And when these things work together, you're not just chasing customers, they're finding you, trusting you, and converting faster. And that's how you build real market authority. If your marketing isn't driving revenue, throwing more money at ads is not the fix. The best marketing leaders think differently. Instead, they act like inefficiency hunters. Instead of asking, how do we get more leads, they ask, where is the revenue actually getting stuck? Is it in bad lead qualification? Are you bringing in the wrong people? Is it slow follow-up? Because speed can make or break deals. Or is it the handoff between marketing and sales? This is a key point where many funnels spring a leak. But here's the truth. Most companies don't have a traffic problem, they have a system problem. And no amount of ad spend fixes a broken system. But when you identify these fixes and bottlenecks, everything improves. Conversion rates go up, revenue increases, and suddenly your existing marketing works a lot better. So before you spend another dollar on ads, start hunting for inefficiencies and fix the leak. That's where real growth is. Scaling your marketing too fast can actually kill your business, and here's why. Now, most people think that growth is simple, you just spend more and you get more. But scaling can actually be quite dangerous if done wrong, because whatever is broken in your business, scaling just makes worse. So if your messaging is unclear, you don't get more customers, you get more confused customers. And if your follow-up is slow or inconsistent, you don't get more sales, you lose more opportunities. And if your funnel isn't dialed in, you're just burning more money faster. And so here's the reality. Scaling amplifies everything, the good and the bad. So if you double your budget without fixing the system, you're doubling your waste. The smartest marketers don't just hit the gas, they fix the gears first, they tighten messaging, they improve follow-up, and they optimize conversions, and then they scale. That's how you grow fast without breaking everything. If your growth just stopped, this is probably why. The thing is, you can't fix what you haven't diagnosed. And that's where most businesses go wrong. They jump straight into campaigns, new ads, new tactics, without ever asking, where's the funnel actually breaking? And this is where the power of the audit comes in. You start with a full funnel audit where you look at every stage of the funnel, your lead magnet, your nurture sequence, your sales follow-up, your onboarding, even upsells and recurring revenue. Because here's the truth, your funnel isn't usually broken in one place. It's breaking in multiple spots. And even worse, as soon as you fix one issue, another one can show up somewhere else. And that's why this isn't a one-time thing. Auditing your funnel should be ongoing, especially when it starts to plateau. Because one of the fastest ways to unlock growth isn't necessarily doing more, it's fixing what's already there. Here's the thing, if your revenue feels random every month, you don't have a marketing problem, you have a system problem. And here's the 5-step framework that I use to turn marketing into a predictable revenue engine. And so the first step is to diagnose. This means finding the bottlenecks where revenue is actually getting stuck. Step 2 is to architect. This is designing a system that can scale, not just survive. Step 3 is to implement. This is building it, making automations, the content, the funnels, all of it. Step 4 is to optimize. This is focusing on tracking performance and improving what matters, things like conversion rates, speed, and efficiency. And step 5 is to scale. But you only want to do this when ROI is predictable. That's the mistake that most people make. They try and scale before things are actually working, and that's how you waste money fast. But when you follow this process, you're building something that compounds, something that grows consistently, not randomly, and that's how you win long term. What if your marketing worked even when you weren't working? That's the power of building durable, evergreen assets. With this strategy, you can build these assets once and they continue to work for you 24/7. And so the first step is to build an automated nurture engine. So instead of chasing leads, you have sequences that follow up and handle objections and build trust automatically. Second, you need your authority library. This consists of things like SEO content and long-form videos that educate and pre-sell people before they even talk to sales. Third, you need to have your operational frameworks in place. And this is how you scale without breaking things. With this model, it means that anyone can step in at any time and execute without having to start from scratch. And fourth, you need to develop your re-engagement loop. This means a system that tracks cold and dormant leads and brings them back into your pipeline automatically. And so the big shift is that you can stop relying on constant effort and a never-ending hamster wheel, and instead you can start building systems that work for you 24/7. Because again, the real growth isn't about doing more every day. The key is to build assets that keep producing long after you hit publish. Most demand gen programs fail, and it's not because of budget. Most teams start demand gen with one goal in mind: to get more leads, and that's the problem. Because leads aren't the goal, progression is. If your marketing isn't moving buyers from unaware to aware, and then from curious to being ready to buy, you don't have a demand engine, you just have noise. The best demand engines I've built all have one thing in common. They mapped content to the buyer intent stages, and they weren't just one-off campaigns. That's the key shift you need to make, and that's going to help you maximize results with your demand gen engine. Here's the thing, if your marketing isn't working, MQLs probably aren't the problem, how you use them is. You see, most companies treat MQLs like the finish line rather than a starting point. For example, someone downloads a guide and they immediately send it to sales rather than nurturing them into a lead that's ready to buy. Because for many MQLs, it's just a signal and it indicates early interest rather than buying intent. So instead of handing them to sales too early, you should build smarter nurture campaigns that guide these MQLs into being a warm lead that's ready to buy. The key is to build more intent before handing them over to sales, and this can help you build more pipeline and increase conversion rates from your MQLs. Well, again, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new videos we put out. But thanks again for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.